to do the honors?
No, you go ahead. I need to take it in from here.
I was hoping you'd say that. Okay.
Hi, I'm Tara Hitchcock. I work with Harkins Theaters. We're actually based in Arizona, but I'm currently in Oregon at a beautiful flower shop named Lucy's Informal Flowers. So good morning.
And you look
Yeah.
like the book.
Literally.
Woo!
Look at that.
On theme.
Oh my god.
Spitting image. Lily Bloom.
Atlas.
Congratulations on this film. I'm so amazed by what you all were able to accomplish in a few hours. And it's probably some of the best casting I've ever seen as it relates to a film that spans different timelines. And I want to start, if you don't mind, Isabella and Alex, with you. It's one thing to look like the people that you're playing at a slightly younger age, but to capture some of the subtleties of the characters and of Blake and Brandon. And I just want to know what was the toughest subtlety for each of you to try to capture.
I think Brandon's handsomeness, that was,
It's very subtle. His handsomeness is so subtle. You don't notice that he's handsome. So it's really, yeah.
It takes some time.
I don't know. I feel like me and Blake, like we had a couple conversations before I went into filming, but there's just something about us. We are such similar people that it really didn't take much. Even in conversations when I first met you, I remember both of us talking and both kind of going on tangents and talking very quickly and using our hands. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. We both have the same like idiosyncrasies and everything. So it honestly wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And it was just such a blessing to even be able to relate to somebody like you. Like it's, you know, it's a dream. It's insane.
Yeah. You did such an amazing job. A lot of this it made me think of the importance of a name, whether it's the name of Lily Bloom, whether it's the name of Brandon Atlas's restaurant, just the whole idea of what a name means to you. I know, Blake, you just launched your hair care line and the name is very significant. Brandon, I'll start with you on this. Can you tell me what the importance of your name means to you? What does your name mean to you?
Brandon, what does Brandon mean to me?
Well, just your whole name, when you hear that or say it out loud, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, it's identity, right? I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, yeah.
We're not used to such interesting
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
No, honestly, your questions are
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a really
I
interesting
wish you were asking
question.
all the questions.
I mean, when someone says my name, Brandon, his whole name, that guy's name, I mean, it's immediately, I mean, you're flooded with whatever collective experience assimilates and like becomes your identity, right? So I guess for Atlas, you're thinking the same thing for him. I mean, what he stands for and what his learned experience is and how he relates to the world and how the world relates to him. I mean, it becomes an amalgamation of all those things. I mean, that is the representation of it, you know?
I mean, honestly, like, I feel like I have a lot of names, because, like that, if I hear someone say Blake Lively, that feels, I think because I've been doing this for so long, this job publicly, that feels a little bit more like that's like a public identity. It feels less like, a name that I feel like a little like ooh, shy if someone says my full name that way. But I think if anyone ever says your full name, you feel like you're in trouble. So maybe that's part of it. But like, you know, Brown was my dad's last name, which is why my dad took on Lively from my mom. So like Brown, I never grew up with the last name Brown. Like I was born with it, but I've been called Lively my whole life because my dad went by Lively as well. So I feel like I have, you know, and I'm married now. And so I kind of feel like I have a lot of names and then I'm always playing other people. So, yeah, I feel like just my first name is like when it gets into last name territory, it's like my different personas.
I know they're going to wrap me in a second. Quickly, if you could own a shop, Alex, I'll start with you. What would your shop include in it? Because I'm at this beautiful flower shop. Obviously, the flower shop in the movie is insane. Alex, what would you sell at your shop?
Oh, that's interesting. I think I like outdoor activities. I would sell things that would help with like camping and surfing and snowboarding and stuff like that, like very outdoor centric, fun adventures, traveling, things like that.
Cool. Like a smaller REI.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
How about you, Isabella?
Oh, I think I would probably do something like old timey, like antique pieces, like something with furniture or like I'm a huge fan of vinyl record stores. So I would love, like, I have a huge collection of my own. And so I feel like I would want to like pull from my own and then like have that in a store probably. That would be my go-to.
And Brandon, quickly?
Vintage guitars. I play guitar,
Oh.
so it'd be vintage guitar store.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
Neurosurgeon.
I am so impressed by what you all managed to do in 2 hours, because there is so much that you have to buy into and believe. And I'll say off the top, I actually never read your book,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to read it before seeing the movie. And I was wondering, what were you most nervous that they could pull off in 2 hours?
Everything. Honestly, like there's so much in the book and so many characters. Like you've not only got your two main characters, you've also got Atlas, but then also them as children. And so just being able to put all of that into a film that makes sense and give you the same emotions that the book gives you. I was nervous, but I really think they did a great job and pulled it off.
Such a great job. I know you involved fans and cohorts and did some test screenings and kind of had people weighing in. What was the biggest note that your mom gave you? Because I know so much of this is about your relationship with her and her.
Honestly, my mom has been nothing but supportive. She's usually pretty critical when it comes to my books, and I will send her my manuscripts first while as I'm writing them, and she'll give me honest feedback. But this one, I think it meant a lot to both of us because, I pulled it from real life. And so
Yeah.
she hasn't really had a lot of feedback. She's just, been along for the ride and has been so supportive. And I think she's kind of like me in this situation where we're just both kind of awestruck that it's even happening.
What is this place going to be?
A flower shop.
I can't recall better casting when it comes to a film that addresses, different timelines. I mean, the casting is off the charts. But when you were writing this book, or was there an actor or actress that you kind of envisioned? And I know you might not have gotten them for the film. Who you got is amazing. But was there someone, were you like, I was hoping for Brad Pitt, but maybe that is a little bit too old. I don't know.
I actually don't see people when I write. It's like personalities. And so when readers do their fan casting, I'm like, oh, that's interesting because I don't have a face in my head. I did used to joke all the time, like, I wish Zac Efron could play every role.
Even Lily?
Even
He
Lily.
could be good. Yeah.
Welcome to Afternoon Tea with Blake and Colleen.
Speaking of Lily, I mean, Blake Lively, it doesn't get any better. She, not only is she inspirational in the film, but she's just inspirational in life. What has her friendship meant to you during this process?
So much. She's just so phenomenal. And watching her, not only bring this role to life, but being able to see how she is as a mother. Like, I get it now, why this role was so important to her. Like, she's a phenomenal mom, and it's beautiful to witness.
I'm so sorry.
I am the oldest of 4 girls. I know that you've got daughters. What is the message for men, do you think, with this film?
That's a good question. I have been able to sit in the audience with men who didn't know what this was going forward, and watching them get emotional. Like, even my husband got emotional. Like, take your girlfriends, take your wives to go see it, take your moms to go see it. I think that it's a very important film for men to see as well.
I totally agree. Colleen, congratulations. I will now be reading the book.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to wait. I'm in the minority on the reading thing, so
I love
trust
that. I
me.
love when people see the movie first too. So.